Coastal Carolina University is consistently ranked as a top best value university in the South. Visit coastal.edu to learn more and schedule your campus tour.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing at $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at tmobile.com.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Number 8 is now number 6. Good morning, I'm Jay Reynolds. Aaron Judge goes yard for the 359th time in his career. He passes Yogi Berra on the Yankees' all-time home run list. Berra now number 6 as Judge takes sole possession of 5th. That was the good news for the Yankees yesterday. The bad news, they give up 9 in the 7th and lose to the Tigers 12-2. Judge hitting his 44th of the season. Kyle Schwarber, 50.
3 balls and 1 strike to Schwarber, the pitch. Swung on, hit deep, center field. Siri just watching as that ball is gone. It's number 50 for Kyle Schwarber. Over the angled wall to the left of the batter's eye as Kyle Schwarber becomes the second player in Phillies history to hit 50 home runs in a single season.
And that was a rocket.
Sports Radio 94 WIP. Schwarber joining Cal Raleigh as the only 2 of 50 this season. Philly a 9-3 win over the Mets. Dodgers beat the Rockies 7-2. Padres fall to the Reds 4-2. LA taking a 2-game lead in the NL West. Reds 3 games behind the Mets for the final wildcard spot in the National League. American League West, Astros lose to Toronto on a walk-off fielder's choice in the 10th. Mariners beat the Cardinals 5-3 to pull within a game of Houston. Red Sox shut out the A's 6-0. Boston calling up Connolly early. He strikes out 11 in his Major League debut. Cubs beat the Braves 6-1. Cade Horton works into the 7th for his 10th win, candidate for National League Rookie of the Year. WNBA make it 15 straight for the Aces. They beat Chicago by 31. They're now on the cusp of clinching the 2 seed. Seattle hangs on to beat the Valkyries by 1. Storm clinching a playoff spot and eliminating the Sparks from postseason contention. Jalen Carter gets a 1-game suspension for spitting on Dak Prescott, but the league says he was ejected without playing a single play, so that's the suspension.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. Richmond, it's time to get your morning going.
Super Bowl.
Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick.
Struck him.
All live from the capital of the Commonwealth.
Where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now,
I'll take my talents to South Beach.
Live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
Good Wednesday morning, September 10th, Appreciate you clocking in, getting your day started with us right here on Fitz the Bill. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Alan alongside as we are live from the Ortho Virginia studios here in the capital of the Commonwealth. However you're listening, appreciate you for making us part of your morning routine. 106.1 ESPN, ESPN Richmond app, ESPNRichmond.com, and of course our streams live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And look, we had some great callers yesterday, and we had a great line. Alan, your line yesterday about saying some players are 6 cylinders, playing like 4 cylinders. Bruce called in. He was talking about the inverse, some 4 cylinders that run like twin turbos, Brock Purdy. But it got me thinking about how J.J. McCarthy is a 4-cylinder who in the fourth quarter of that game on Monday night played like a twin turbo, right? And Caleb Williams got all the raw talent in the world, but he was a 6-cylinder. And to start his NFL career, he's been playing like a Vespa. He's been playing like a 6-cylinder that blew a gasket immediately after hitting 95. And to take it a little further out, all the great coaches, the great teams really just feel like amazing mechanics because the Ravens are the Ravens, right? They win a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco. Heck, we can even go even further back. They won a Super Bowl with dang Trent Dilfer. Those are 4 cylinders, but they had them playing like twin turbos when it mattered the most. Now they've got a twin turbo in Lamar Jackson, and they're able to keep him running at complete peak performance. The Chiefs, they've got themselves a twin turbo, and they make sure he gets all of his scheduled oil changes. He's getting his tires rotated. He's getting an alignment every now and then. They're making sure that he is running at peak performance at all times. And then it brings you to the teams that have kind of consistently failed. Caleb Williams, you've got a Bugatti in the garage right now, but you are a mechanic that has gotten so many 1-star reviews, you don't know what to do with yourself. You're used to working on Ford Pintos, not Bugattis, and Caleb Williams is floundering in Chicago. Now, is it some of his own doing? Sure, but is there also reports from Caleb himself that the coaches last year weren't having him watch film or weren't watching film with him? Yes, that's also the case. And now you've got this amazing sports car in a mechanic who doesn't know what to do with it, and it is completely failing that quarterback. It's a twin turbo type of player in Caleb Williams that's floundering. And you zoom out a little bit, and it brings me to the Commanders, because the Commanders have historically been that 1-star mechanic, right? It pushes you through state inspections. You just got to grease their pockets with an extra Benjamin. They take twin turbos. They blow them out within a year. I'm looking at you, RG3. They would take a 4-cylinder and they wouldn't be able to even make it run like a 4-cylinder, run it out of town in record time. Kind of reminds me of Jason Campbell. The new ownership group, though, they've bought this mechanic shop. They've done a great job at rebranding it and making things right. They've gotten a new Google page for their mechanic shop, but maybe someone who's been slighted by them once before has now come to the new mechanic shop and they realize it's in the same spot. They realize it's the same building. So there's still that stench hanging over it. And they're going to have to string together a couple more seasons before that stench, I think, is totally gone and people fully trust it. But in the meantime, someone has graciously given them a Lamborghini to take care of. And so far, it's gone really well. But they have to ensure they're going to keep it running at peak performance for years to come if they want to become a top-end NFC contender. Dare I say NFC dynasty. And they've got a big test on Thursday, tomorrow on Thursday Night Football against the Packers. But it's just so interesting. You kind of see the story of two franchises from this last year's NFL draft in 2024, where one gets Jaden Daniels and they get a new ownership group and they figure some stuff out on the back end. And now all of a sudden they're competing for the NFC. And on the other side, the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, it's like the Chicago Bears just hired this star mechanic, but everything around them is still going poorly. Like that's what Ben Johnson is, right? You hire the star, the fixer, the guy who can come in. He made Jared Goff look like an MVP. You think he could just be slided right on in. But look, you still got the same management team. You've still got the same parts. You've still got the same facilities around him. What's going to happen? Sure, you got a Bugatti in there with a star mechanic, But if everything else is wrong, if everything else doesn't work, if you've got 10-year-old oil, I don't know if oil ever goes bad, actually, if tire oil ever goes bad, but let's say it does, it's not going to run well and things are going to go poorly. Like that was what I was thinking of after yesterday's calls from Bruce and from you, Alan, when you brought up 4-cylinder playing like a 6-cylinder and 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder playing like a 4-cylinder, all of that. That's what I was thinking of.
Some deep thoughts, man, for Wednesday morning.
Look, I was driving in. I was listening to a podcast about the Bears as I was flipping between that and the Sports King, and they were talking about how things have gone so wrong for Chicago and Caleb Williams, and he may have there was an entire article written on a Substack about Caleb Williams. They had 32 anonymous sources, so take everything that is said with a grain of salt. But like, it just seems like the coaches failed him. He failed the coaches, and you got to wonder if he was in the spot of Jaden Daniels, would he have had success?
I want to say he would have. Support is a big thing, right? And having a franchise with the direction is a big thing. I mean, we've seen plenty of quarterbacks come in with talent enough to be successful in the NFL, and I bet you behind every bust is a terrible organization and instability in coaching. I think the Patriots are trying to not be that with the hire that they had, but you got to think Justin Fields went through the same thing. He was benched, he was brought back, he was benched, he was brought back, multiple offensive coordinators, and then you give him just a smidge of stability, and he has production. Not that he's a world beater, but he's at least capable, right?
Maybe his best career game in game 1 with the Jets.
So I hate to see that happen with Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams needs coaching. Like when I look at Caleb Williams based on, and I'm not patting myself on the back, but scouting him when he was in college, doing the evals and stuff and seeing how he plays in the pros, a lot of what he's doing is just bad habits that have been allowed to happen because he's so talented, right? It's like, all right, so his feet are not right or his arm angle's not this, but guess what? He threw 65 yards on a dart. It's cool.
He was on a rollout off platform, ball and hits him right on the money on the sideline.
There is something about professional football that is unlike other footballs, and that is that you're playing every single day the top 1% of the sport. You don't get that in high school. You don't get that in college. So when you're playing the top 1% every single day, you have to be on your A game or you will get exposed. It doesn't matter who you are. Nobody's above the rules.
Yeah.
He's been allowed to do it, and some of it's on him.
Yeah.
You know?
Some of it is on him where, maybe he didn't take care of his car the way he should have, to keep this analogy going,
he put
right?
87 in there when he was supposed to put in the
91 or whatever it is. Exactly. He was supposed to go Supreme gas. He was putting just the regular unleaded in. And now he has to take it to the mechanic because his engine's blown up a little bit. The first mechanic they had in was not a real mechanic. He was cosplaying as a mechanic. His name was Matt Eberflus. He made the situation worse, and now they've brought in Ben Johnson. But all the while, they're doing this in some rundown garage in the back of someone's house where any minute it could go up in flames. And you're like, why isn't this working?
They've got to be patient. I don't think Ben Johnson.
They've got to rebuild the garage.
Well, Ben doesn't have a lot of patience. He's a prodigy in his mind. So if he's not having success, I give it 3-4 games max, which isn't enough time to really realistically get his system down for somebody that played in basically the complete opposite. But that's probably what Caleb's looking at. He's got like 3 to 4 games. Ben's not going to allow Caleb Williams to bring Ben down. I can guarantee you that.
And there were reports from those anonymous sources in that long article that was posted like a week ago. Reports from anonymous sources that DJ Moore and who else was it? And Mercedes Lewis were asking Matt Eberflus to bench Caleb.
I mean, probably for his own protection, if anything.
No, they were annoyed with him. They said he couldn't execute motions pre-snap. He couldn't execute how to run an effective.
He's not getting coached, man. Imagine if DJ Moore didn't have a wide receiver coach.
No, you're right. It's just insane how like everything's falling apart around this guy.
And they blame the kid.
Well, some of it's on him.
Some of it is on him, but you if you don't know better, you can't do better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? That's a simple term, right?
And he was getting help from a guy. Help. I'm putting that in air quotes because I don't think he got a lot of help. Eberflus from a guy who didn't know what the heck he was doing, and then all of a sudden you look at it and things have gone from good to horrible. And now you bring in Ben Johnson, who's a perfectionist, who's going to ask you to be great. And right now, Caleb is incapable of playing like a great quarterback. He's incapable of playing like Jared Goff, which is a point and shoot quarterback. Caleb is, it's not a marriage made in heaven. Like Ben Johnson wants you to play on schedule, in rhythm, within the bounds of the offense. Caleb Williams is best when he is off rhythm, playing at his own pace, making something out of nothing. He's a jazz musician, and Ben Johnson is the conductor from Whiplash.
Yeah, and like I said yesterday, the Bears as an organization have messed this up time and time again. They get the coach before they get the GM. They get the GM before they get or they get the quarterback before they get the GM. Like, it's like the way they do things is just really weird, right? Like,
they should have cleaned house.
Yeah,
last
nobody
offseason.
actually gets to pick the tools that they work with. The tools are picked before them. Like, Poles came in and he was given a coach and it was terrible. So then he goes out and gets Eberflus, but then Eberflus gets a quarterback that's not his quarterback. And so it doesn't work. And now you got Ben Johnson, who's pretty much, it's the same scenario. Ben's way more talented of a coach, we would project, than Eberflus is, but he's got a quarterback that's not his quarterback. And you bring him in to fix the quarterback, but the quarterback is broken. That's a tall task for anybody, man.
Yeah.
And his first coaching job. This isn't Andy Reid coming in.
This is Ben. We don't even know if he's a good coach.
Yeah.
We know he's a good offensive coordinator. Is he a good head coach? I don't know.
So it's not setting him up for success either.
No.
Even though on paper you would say, well, there's a whole lot of talentless quarterbacks you could get for your first coaching gig than a Caleb Williams. But I would look at it and say a broken Caleb Williams isn't any better than a talentless quarterback who hasn't been broken.
From what we've seen so far, a broken Caleb Williams is not good. The raw talent is there, but it needs a lot of work. Good news for the Bears. They've got the Lions next, which their defense looked rough in game one.
Bad news for the Bears.
They got the Lions next.
Yeah, they're the Bears. No quarterback has really been that successful.
That's true. Good news for the Bears. They've got the Lions next. Bad news for the Bears. They are Chicago.
Yeah. No quarterback's really been that successful in the franchise. So.
Yeah, Jay Cutler maybe was their most successful one. It's sad that Caleb Williams had a horrible year last year, and yet he still set the rookie franchise record in like passing yards, touchdowns, completion percentage.
The bar is very low.
The bar is the ground.
Yes.
The bar is the ground with
you
Chicago.
Get out of bed, you're a Hall of Famer in
Caleb
Chicago.
Williams can throw 4,001 yards, and that is the first ever quarterback in the history of the Chicago Bears franchise to throw for 4,000 yards or more. And this is a franchise that was one of the founding members of the National Football League. Just let that sink in. That's what, over 100 years roughly this team has been around, and they've never had a quarterback throw for 4,000 yards. Just let that sink in. All right, let's update you with what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight.
This is your Fitz the Bill morning update. Getting you caught up on some of the biggest stories in sports.
All right, so Jalen Carter has been fined by the NFL for spitting on Dak Prescott. The $57,222 fine will be the only punishment handed down to Carter after the NFL announced that since he was ejected just 6 seconds into the Thursday night game, that would be considered a one-game suspension. San Francisco, they've placed George Kittle on the injured reserve, meaning the tight end will miss at least the next 4 games with a hamstring injury. Additionally, the 49ers, you can rejoice, Alan. 49ers have waived Jake Moody, their kicker. He missed 1 field goal, had another blocked on Sunday. The 49ers have signed Eddie Pinheiro. With all the moving and shaking with the 49ers, they also signed wide receiver Kendrick Bourne. Bourne was being courted by Washington. However, with the injuries decimating the pass catchers in San Fran, Bourne ends up signing out on the West Coast. Christian Watson, the Green Bay Packer wide receiver, currently rehabbing an injury he suffered in the regular season finale last season, just agreed to a 1-year, $13.25 million contract extension to stay in Green Bay. He was in the last year of his contract, and now he'll be under contract until the 2026 offseason. Colorado's quarterback situation has gotten, well, a bit more interesting. After Ryan Staub was spotted working with the first team in practice on Monday in the open media period, it was reported that he would be the starter this week. But now Deion Sanders has disputed the report, saying they have not made a decision. In MLB, the Yankees had an epic collapse last night. The relief pitching for New York allowed the Tigers to score 9 runs in the 7th inning. Detroit would go on to win 12-2. Kyle Schwarber became the first batter in the NL this season to hit 50 home runs. The Phillies beat the Mets 9-3, and Philadelphia now owns a 9-game lead over the New York Metropolitans in the NL East. All right, that's what you may have missed in the wide world of sports overnight. Coming up on today's show of Fitz the Bill, Dr. Anthony Karam from Ortho, Virginia. He's going to join us next segment to chat about some injuries in the NFL. We'll continue talking about the back injuries with Matthew Stafford and Micah Parsons and how they may play a part in both of those players' performance throughout the rest of the season. A really great conversation with Dr. Anthony Karam from Ortho, Virginia. And then looking ahead to hour number 2, we'll have our conversation with Dinwiddie quarterback Zion Boyso. He's our talk of the town athlete. So far this season, he's 34 of 38. He has over 500 total yards between his passing and his rushing, 10 total touchdowns. He has more than double the amount of touchdowns than he does incompletions this season. He has been powering Dinwiddie's offense to start the season, and they've got a pretty big matchup on Friday at Highland Springs, and that is going to be one of the best games in the area. So caught up with Dinwiddie's quarterback, Zion Boyso, our talk of the town athlete. And coming up in hour number 2, we'll be doing not ESPN Richmond. Don't know where my mind went on that one. We'll be doing Fitz's Fantasy First Look. Our fantasy segment we will do each and every Wednesday to help you with waiver wire additions, because the waiver wire technically opens today. We'll help you out with waiver wire additions, kind of look ahead to some start sit questions. I know it's still really early in the week, but if you have any start sit questions, feel free to text them in 804-327-0888, and we'll assess some situations on the good old-fashioned panic meter. So we'll do our panic meter. We'll do waiver wire additions. And if you have any start sit questions, call or text us in 804-327-0888. All right, let's get a break in here. Step aside. We'll be back with Ortho Virginia's Dr. Anthony Karam as we talk about some injuries across the NFL.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at HermanAllenPlumbing.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcome. Fickle Plan with Bowling for Soup, 303 at Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keith and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on ESPNRichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
1061 ESPN traffic.
We're seeing bumper-to-bumper traffic heading north on Para Road between September Drive and Patterson Avenue. The left and center lanes are blocked off due to a crash heading south on 95 approaching Belvedere Street, causing slow-moving traffic from Bryant Park Interchange. And for those of you heading north on 95, the left lane is blocked off near Downtown Expressway, causing delays from Bells Road.
Stretch your sports IQ from sideline to sideline. Border to border with Matt Josephs, where local meets nationwide news. Buckle up for analysis that crosses every line. No passport required.
In Fitz The Bill, rolling right along right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, joined now by Dr. Anthony Karam from Ortho, Virginia. Dr. Karam, thank you so much for taking some time out of your morning to chat with us.
And thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Of course, I want to start here. Look, I'm a radio host. I got to do some of my my pre-interview research, right? And I was reading your bio, and it said you're a former engineer who then turned to being a doctor. Can you walk me through that career change?
That is correct. So I studied chemical engineering when I was an undergrad, and as being part of that, in that discipline, it wasn't like a very big transition in the medicine because we had to take all of our science prerequisites and everything to fulfill the engineering and chemical engineering requirement for my discipline. So all I had to do was to take like 2 extra classes. It wasn't like anything like above and beyond or anything crazy like that. And I did have to take the MCATs, which I took my senior year of college, and then I ended up working as an engineer for like a year or so, just to give it a shot, see if it was something that I wanted to do with my career, even though I had something in the back of my head about going to medical school and exploring that entire field. I ended up, working for a consulting firm. And then after that, I decided that, that wasn't for me. And I then pursued my dream of becoming a physician. And now I'm here 15 years later. So
that's awesome. What do you specialize in at Ortho, Virginia? What's your day to day?
So my specialty is interventional pain and spine. I do mostly spine related conditions and minimally invasive procedures, as well as injections for back pain, neck pain, things like that at Ortho, Virginia.
Well, you nailed on something that we've been hearing a lot in this NFL season: back pain, something that has plagued Matthew Stafford, Micah Parsons. Both played in week 1 of the NFL season. However, both reportedly received epidurals to help with their back pain. Can you kind of walk us through that approach for pain management, especially with backs, when it comes to a professional athlete?
Sure. Professional athletes are usually, they're very young folks, very healthy folks. Folks that probably their injuries are more related to acute trauma than anything else. They're not going to have the typical, arthritis that we see from chronic wear and tear. They might have some of that due to the nature of their, sports activities and things like that. However, their injuries tend to be more acute. So, with regards to, I think Matthew Stafford, correct, on the Vikings, he had a herniated disc, and that can cause a lot of pain, especially in the acute phase of that. They could have pain with bending, pain with really any movement I see with people with that kind of injury, especially like I know as of late, my wife was experiencing that kind of issue, and we had to get that taken care of for her as well. But usually with these kind of things, the helping through that initial acute phase is what our plan is with athletes. And that's probably why Stafford and Parsons underwent epidural steroid injections, is to help decrease the inflammation as a result of the herniated discs and things that they have in their spine, so that they can get back to playing faster. And that's important for any athlete, especially a professional athlete. We want to get them back in the game as quickly as possible, as pain-free as possible, so that they're able to do the things that they need to do to play.
Dr. Crum joining us from Ortho Virginia on this morning. Dr. Crum, you mentioned it. They go through the epidurals, things of that sort. Could you kind of explain if and when non-surgical pain treatments can, like when you decide non-surgery and kind of doing the epidural side is the best route forward compared to maybe going and doing a surgery or something along those lines?
Sure. Usually patients that initially present in the acute phase with a disc herniation, we really want to treat that conservatively first. That being because most patients, I would say 80 to 90% of patients that I see with this issue don't need spine surgery. And we don't want to alter the biomechanics of the spine unless we absolutely have to. And I'm not a spine surgeon, so I know spine surgeons, some spine surgeons can talk to this in greater detail than I can, for sure, because that's a little bit out of my wheelhouse. But, with any type of acute injury, we typically want to start with the most conservative thing first that we can possibly do to make our patients better, and we go from there. So, in terms of, some of the higher performance athletes, obviously we would want to get them pain-free as possible to get them back on the field. So I would probably move doing an epidural or doing some type of intervention for them a little bit further up, so that we can get them back to playing and back to moving. Again, like I said, so, conservative, physical therapy is a great option for most people to start off with, to really help stabilize and build up the musculature around the spine to make sure, we're helping patients, heal and move in a effective and, pain-free manner. Typically if patients are still kind of having pain and they're still in that acute phase, we'll do that epidural so we can get them moving easier and get them, get back some of their quality of life, because most people with these kind of disc issues, they're absolutely miserable in that initial phase.
Yeah, someone who has thankfully not ever had issues like that, hopefully ever will have not had to experience that type of pain. Are there any emerging pain treatment technologies out there or techniques that you're really excited about?
Sure. Yeah, there's a few things that have been happening in the space of pain medicine, especially that have been pretty exciting. We're very big on neuromodulation now, which basically means we're using electricity to stimulate nerves so they don't feel pain. And that's pretty exciting. We're basically blocking the pain signal by utilizing electricity. And now, by the way of spinal cord stimulation or peripheral nerve stimulation, these are really new emerging technologies in pain medicine. And the interesting thing about pain medicine is just so much technology is changing it changes very rapidly. Like we really have to stay up to date to make sure that we're able to offer our patients the most up-to-date evidence-based treatments that we can. And, that's the important thing with any new emerging technology, is making sure that we vet that evidence and we vet that data to make sure that we're doing things for our patients that are going to not only work, but are also durable for them. And, obviously also, agree with their overall goals and getting better in their overall activity.
That's awesome. I also want to know, kind of on the flip side, any pain management technology or techniques you advise people to kind of be a little cautious about right now?
There are some pain management technology or techniques that I would advise people to be cautious about. There's a lot of new emerging things in the field of regenerative medicine and biologics. The data on that is currently being researched and done, and sometimes these newer technologies and these newer techniques need to be vetted by somebody that has the knowledge, so that we are sure that we're doing something for a patient that's actually going to work and that's backed by good quality data, good quality science.
That makes a lot of sense. Dr. Karam, can you let listeners know where they can go? I was getting ahead of myself on that one. Where they can potentially schedule an appointment at Ortho Virginia and can find out which pain management options, everything like that, are best for them?
Sure. They can go onto our website to schedule an appointment. They can call our office directly. I don't have the number off the top of my head, but they can call our offices, go to our website to schedule appointments, and obviously we would be more than happy to see and help. We want to help and reach as many patients as we can here at Ortho Virginia, so we can get them working and moving and feeling great.
Awesome. Dr. Crum, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to chat with us. Have a wonderful rest of your week and appreciate your time.
Thank you.
There goes Dr. Anthony Karam from Ortho Virginia. Appreciate him taking some time out of his morning to chat with us. Ortho Virginia is a sponsor of our Talk of the Town. They've got 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area. You can visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why Stronger starts here. So appreciate him taking some time out of his morning to chat with us. Right when we wrapped up that one, he went to the OR, and I was like, oh, that's much more important than a radio interview. So appreciate him squeezing in the time there. Talk of the Town will be coming up to start hour number 2 as we catch up with Dinwiddie's quarterback, Zion Boyso, after he has had a strong start to the 2025 season. All right, stay with us. On the other side of this break, we've got news or snooze, 3 headlines making the rounds in the world of sports that we will react to. That's coming up on the other side of this break.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront at ESPN welcome. Simple plan with Bowling for Soup, 303 at Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keat and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on ESPNRichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
Have you thought of enrolling in a City of Richmond Promise Pay payment plan but haven't done so yet? Promise Pay is the convenient and flexible payment option for past due gas and water balances. But changes are coming soon, beginning September 1st. All new payment plans will be eligible for a 12-month repayment term versus the current 36 months. So if you're in need of a longer time to repay, you're encouraged to enroll before September 1st. Don't delay, enroll today. To learn more, visit our website at www.rva.gov/public-utilities.
The Bentelli Fall Sales Event is on now through October 31st. Great selection of LSVs and special finance rates are available. Cruise your neighborhood in style with a street-legal low-speed vehicle from Richmond LSV. Bluetooth sound system, seatbelts, and lithium batteries are all standard equipment. Schedule a test drive today during the Bentelli Fall Sales Event at richmondlsv.com or text 804-363-4351. Fun. Fully charged.
It's the Women Who Mean Business Summit. Friday, October 10th, 9 to 4 at the Greater Richmond Convention Center. The theme is Impact, with keynote speaker Sharice Jones, CEO of Sassy Jones, plus networking panels, vendors, and more. Friday, October 10th, the Women Who Mean Business Summit. Get your tickets now at the mbl.org. Vendor spots are still available. Join us, ladies, for a day of impact. Powered in part by Summit Media Richmond.
We're more than a station. We're a sports community. Braves, Spiders, NFL, NBA, MLB, NASCAR. Talk shows, big games, local heroes. 106.1 ESPN Richmond is where Richmond talks sports. Want your brand in the mix? Advertise with us today. Call 804-330-5700 or email espnrva@summitmediacorp.com. Weather reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Lennox dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
106.1 ESPN weather.
Taking a look at today's weather forecast, it's currently 63 degrees and cloudy with a low today of 62 and a high of 71. We're seeing some scattered showers throughout the area within the next hour. Overcast skies continuing into the afternoon and evening. And taking a look at tomorrow, the sun will start poking out and temperatures will rise with a high of 78 and a low of 63.
Meet and greet Richmond football quarterback Kyle Wickersham when he joins Coach Russ Huseman for lunch and Spider football talk on Behind the Web, Thursday, noon to 1 at Bar West, 5811 Grove Avenue, and live on the home of the Spiders, 106.1 ESPN.
News or snooze?
All right, news or snooze, starting with some college football.
I'm ready.
JMU Dukes likely sticking with 2 QBs.
It's newsworthy, but it doesn't make me happy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, you picked this first, so.
I know. But look here. If you got 2 quarterbacks, you ain't got one. There's a reason that saying is a thing. There's a reason there's that cliche.
I go back and forth just because I've seen it work sometimes, but for the most part, it doesn't work.
So, it worked against Weber State for the most part, right? Sluka came in. Matthew Sluka, the transfer quarterback from UNLV, began his collegiate career at Holy Cross with head coach Bob Chesney. He is now the second quarterback at JMU. Alonzo Barnett, who tore his ACL 9 months ago, had a miraculous recovery, and within 9 months after surgery was cleared for contact and was ready to go week 1 of the season. So that's kind of the overall thing hovering over JMU right now. And so week 1 against Weber, the QB1 is Alonzo Barnett. He's in there for a lion's share of the snaps. Sluka comes in for 12 snaps, throwing the ball 5 or 6 times, rushing the ball 6 times, and there's an even 50-50 split, which keeps the defense honest. Against Louisville, it is very much more nearly a 50-50 split where Alonzo Barnett gets 55 snaps and Sluka gets about 30 snaps. Of those 30 snaps that Sluka got, 21 were rushing plays, and of those snaps for Alonzo Barnett, it was mostly, especially in the second half, mostly clear passing downs. He came in. So they were signaling with their 2-quarterback system, all right, if this quarterback is in, it is a run. If this quarterback is in, it is a pass. And that's when 2-quarterback systems go to die. That's when it completely blows up. When you've got a quarterback that's essentially just a glamorized running back there, which I'm not saying that's what Sluka is, but that's how he was treated against Louisville. And now JMU seems like, with what Bob Chesney, head coach Bob Chesney, was saying in the press conference from Monday, that JMU is going to stick with that 2-quarterback system, and they're going to continue running it out. Maybe not as many snaps for Sluka, maybe not as many snaps for Barnett. It's going to depend on the game plan, is what Chesney said, but they're going to stick with this system that got him into loads of trouble against Louisville.
So if you need a runner and you need a passer, why not just use Cam Coleman?
Or Alonza, who also can run, or Sluka, who can also pass.
I can understand why you don't want Alonza running, but
but like if he can't run the offense, right?
Yeah,
then he shouldn't be playing.
I'll check him out. I haven't watched a JMU game this year just yet, so I'll check him out and see how it looks. But that seems like they're overcomplicating it.
They're overcomplicating it 100%. Like what they did against Weber State, I thought was perfect, where Alonza's primarily the quarterback, and you got Sluka coming in with a 50-50 split between runs and passes. Now, like, I don't think Sluka's the best passer, but you've got to pass with him when he is in just to keep the defense honest. Because if they see Sluka come in and they go, 75% of the time it's a run with him, you know what we're going to do? Load the freaking box and like not even worry about it, because we trust that he won't throw. And if he does throw, he's not that great. I think he's thrown in total like 8 or 9 passes this season. My numbers could be off by a little bit, but he does have 2 interceptions. He has thrown 2 back shoulder fade balls to the front shoulder.
That's not
he's looked a little rough passing the football. But yeah, like if you need Barnett to run and he can't run, maybe you got to look other places. And now you have put yourself into a quarterback controversy that was so easily avoided if you had managed expectations in the offseason.
Number 2, Micah Parsons lobbied for increased snap count in Packers debut.
Snoozeworthy.
Oh, wow. I wasn't expecting that. I had
Really?
the newsworthy up.
Really?
Yeah. Let's just run with
I
it.
think Micah, like, of course he lobbied for increase. Of course he lobbied for increased snap count in the Packers debut. Of course every great player is going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And you really just threw me for a loop right there.
Look, it's newsworthy, but it's also snoozeworthy because, like, of course he did it. And it kind of worked. He got 45% of the snaps. He had 3 pressures, I think, in the game. He had a sack. He looked really good. And for the Commanders, you better hope he's not lobbying for more increased snaps in week 2, because, look, you passed the test week 1 with that front 4 of New York, but Micah Parsons brings a completely new challenge to the front offensive line for Washington. So you better hope Micah doesn't lobby for more snaps in week 2.
I'm actually looking forward to that, though, because, like I said yesterday, Connerly as a rookie, you go against the Giants and then you draw Micah Parsons in week 2 on a short week. I mean, if the kid can handle it, if the offensive line itself can handle it, because I think, Lake was right yesterday. Cosme is the real superstar. Like,
yeah, and he's
boxing up Dexter Lawrence is the real challenge there. And he Biotish. And he did a good job of that. So if collectively they can handle the dynamic of, what the Giants bring and then what Micah Parsons himself presents, it bodes well for a position that they really emphasize upgrading this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, that was their biggest emphasis, was to upgrade the offensive line, and they get 2 massive tests. Probably didn't expect week 2 against the Packers to include Micah Parsons.
Nobody did.
But here we are. But yeah, lobbying for increased snap count in Packers debut makes sense. I would expect he's probably lobbying to play 100% of the snaps for every single game from here on out. Just saying, shoot me up with more painkillers and I'll get out there and I'll play. I don't even have to feel my back to stack at quarterback.
Number 3, NFL kickoff return rate increases dramatically in week 1.
Newsworthy. I think it worked, Alan. I think the change worked. I think we're seeing more kickoff returns. I think the plan to get more kickoff returns, so they change the way the rule works, is working. And I'm so happy about it. So the rule has changed where touchbacks are now spotted at the 35-yard line, which is 5 yards more than where it was last season. And the thought in that is, well, a team can likely tackle the opponent before they make it to the 35. So we don't want to kick it into the end zone. So what we're going to do is kick it short of the end zone, forcing a return. And that's what we saw a lot of in week 1. There's a little bit more strategy behind how the kickoffs work, and you see a lot more game action during the kickoffs.
Yeah, and you also see some strategy there, like in the Vikings game where they bring it out to avoid the 2-minute.
Yeah.
It's nice to see, but honestly, I never really cared about it.
Really?
In watching the game, I never once thought to myself, man, I wish we had a kickoff return.
what I didn't like about it was that after a touchdown, so it went touchdown commercial, kickoff commercial. And so you could go like 10, 15 minutes of real time without ever seeing like a real play run.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing where now at least you get like a moment of, okay, are they going to return this? You get a moment of that.
Yeah, and
which is nice.
I will say too, I am in the same breath happy to see at least the positional value of a returner come back to the game, because it would have stunk to completely get rid of them.
Yeah.
Or that aspect. But as far as me rating a game on excitement based off of whether they're returning kicks or not, I've never thought about that.
You're right. And I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think we saw any return for a touchdown in week 1.
Not that I recall.
So it didn't add that portion of the game, but it did add a little bit more excitement during that 15-minute span of commercial, spliced in there. You get one kick, you get one big hit, and then you can move on with the rest of your commercials. But it accomplished what it set out to accomplish, which in and of itself is newsworthy.
Yeah, the NFL got something right.
The NFL wanted to increase the returns on kickoffs. They did that with this rule change. And Sam Schwartenstein, if you ever watch the Amazon Prime Vision, he's the guy that pops onto the screen. He's like, if you see here, the analytics say, and he's the king of nerd numbers.
Yeah.
He's the brainchild behind this, who pitched it to the NFL and got them to adapt it. And then not only adapt it, but then to evolve the rule through the last couple of years. So he's the king of all nerds.
Great.
I think he played at Yale or Penn.
The final boss of analytics.
He's really good at analytics. Highly recommend watching the Amazon Prime Vision when you watch the game on Thursday.
Is that the one where they show you who's blitzing and whatnot?
Show you who blitzing, and they show every play from the all-22 angle.
They need to give that to some of the quarterbacks.
I need to give it to Caleb Williams.
I want to watch it when the Vikings play. I want to see
how many red bubbles there are.
Yeah, because I mean, you never know who's coming.
Yeah. It's funny because sometimes it gets it wrong because it's all powered by artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But sometimes it gets it right, and they'll even incorporate it into like the real broadcast, and they'll be like, there's no way he's blitzing. And then he blitzes, and they're like, oh, all right. Because it just uses data. Like, and I know that sounds like so, well, actually, but they just use a lot of data to figure out what the tendencies are. And so it's just based off of tendencies.
I mean, to be honest, real quick, like I'm totally shocked that people are not using more AI to kind of predict or get down to the real root of people's tendencies.
Yeah, I can tell you why, Alan. Because it's football.
I mean, I get that, but it's
football.
It's a time saver and it's accurate.
You know me. I'm a big proponent in using every single piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I thought most people were proponents of.
I think they should. And I think that's why John Harbaugh should have gone for it on 4th down in his own end in that game for the Ravens. Would have won them the game if they got it. Did not impact their win probability too much in the negative. Should have done that. You should go for 2 as often as you can. There's so many analytic nerd numbers that people just don't like to use because it goes against what football is. We line up and we're better than you. Yeah, and you know what else? My brain is better than you because my artificial intelligence told me that you're going to run a blitz here. Yeah, sure, you disguised it, but I'm right.
Just seems like an extra scout to me.
That's all it is. Look, you know who needs that extra scout? The Bengals, because they've only got like 3 of them in their building. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back to wrap up hour number 1 of Fitz the Bill on this midweek edition, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Traffic reports on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, brought to you by Herman Allen Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, a premier Linux dealer. Online at hermanallenplumbing.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Richmond Kickers soccer games in the fall is a RVA tradition. Just a few games left at City Stadium this season. Reserve your tickets online at richmondkickers.com.
Richmonders love Pella, Virginia, and it's easy to see why. Pella gives you more, so you can feel confident choosing us for your window and door projects. While other companies may offer just 1 or 2 options, Pella has a full range: wood, vinyl, and fiberglass, so you get quality and customization, not just a quick fix. When you choose Pella, we'll handle everything from order to installation. Right now, get 40% off qualifying installations or no payments, no interest for 24 months. Find out more at PellaVirginia.com. Some restrictions apply.
Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call: Schilling and Esposito. I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito.
It's off to Chapel Bill this Saturday. Hi, this is Bob Black. Join Chris Anderson, Matt Smith, and me as Richmond football gets its shot at Coach Bill Belichick and the North Carolina Tar Heels. Pre-game Saturday at 3, kickoff at 3:30 on the home of the Spiders, 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill on this midweek edition, 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside, as getting you set for hour number 2 here. I want to bring it back to the JMU football still using 2 quarterbacks, man. Still brings me a lot of anger, brings me a lot of pain. That Louisville game, to take off the media hat real quick and put on the JMU alum hat, that Louisville game gave me so much angst. Is that the right word for it? Gave me angst. The fact that Alonzo Barnett III, who's coming off of a miraculous ACL injury, he's healed up in record time. He was in for 18 pass plays in the second half. 16 of those 18 pass plays were in clear passing situations. So he was never throwing the football, except for twice, in neutral script situations. And so what passing situations are means they are going to pass. It's 2nd and 10. It's 3rd and long. It's late in the game when JMU has to pass to come back. When the defense knows, all right, we can pin our ears back and we can go and get him. We can put him under pressure. And Alonzo Barnett's biggest Achilles heel last season in 2024 was his inability to work through pressure. And the coaching staff put him in pressure-packed after pressure-packed after pressure-packed situations against Louisville. And that's just not going to be a successful recipe for JMU. They've got the bye week this week to try and figure it out. But then you got Liberty, which I know Liberty's coming off of that very bad loss against Jacksonville State Liberty's rush defense has been absolutely atrocious to start the season, something they've really got to work on ahead of that JMU game. But like, as much as JMU fans don't want to acknowledge that it's a rivalry, the amount of talking between the two fan bases on Twitter, on social media across the board, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, whatever it is, the amount of trash talking between the two sides, like, this is a rivalry game. There are bragging rights at stake. The fans care about this game a lot. JMU cares about this game. Liberty cares about this game. So it's going to be a tough game when they're back in action, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday, a 3:30 p.m. kick on ESPNU for that one. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be hard fought, and it's at Liberty's place. So you've got a lot to try and overcome between now and then, and it's going to kind of tell you what you should expect out of the rest of the season for JMU. If they've come out and they know what they're doing with their quarterback situation, and it's more similar to Weber State, I have all the confidence in JMU moving forward. But if it looks like that Louisville situation, I am truly worried at this team's chances to win the Sun Belt. Because for myself, I think Sun Belt championship is the goal, should be the goal for the players in that locker room, for that coaching staff. I don't really care too much about the college football playoff. If that happens, it happens. But South Florida has been an amazing story. I kind of am pulling for South Florida. 2 ranked wins to start off the season, an opportunity to make it 3 straight would shock the world. So college football playoff, it's not in your hands, but what is in your hands is still winning the Sun Belt Championship. Use the non-conference to kind of tweak some things, and you've got a good path ahead in the Sun Belt East. So something I'm going to be talking about way too much is the JMU football quarterback situation, probably throughout this entire season. But man, South Florida, what a story for that mid-major team, for that group of 5 team. Win over ranked Boise, win over ranked Florida. Now an opportunity to get a huge win over ranked Miami. They would be just the second team in the history of college football to begin a season 3-0 with 3 wins against ranked opponents. The last team to do it was Miami back in their heyday. So a huge opportunity for South Florida, a spot that I don't think anyone expected them to be in. All right, coming up in hour number 2 to kick things off, we'll have Zion Boyso, the quarterback at Dinwiddie. Dinwiddie 2-0. They're coming off of a 55-6 win at Granby. He is our talk of the town student athlete, presented by Dave & Buster's in Ortho, Virginia. He'll be joining us in hour number 2, 9 a.m. We caught up with him yesterday right before practice, him and his head coach, Billy Mills from Dinwiddie. You don't want to miss it. That's coming up next.
Game on, Richmond. Crank up 106.1 ESPN for live play-by-play, blistering hot takes, and nonstop action. Your ticket to the hype. Stay dialed in.
Allianz Amphitheater at Riverfront and ESPN welcome. Simple Plan with Bowling Pursuit, 303 in Lolo, Tuesday, August 26th. Tickets are on sale now. Gavin Adcock with Braxton Keith and Laney Gardner, Thursday, August 28th. Tickets are on sale now. Allison Krause and Union Station featuring Jerry Douglas, Friday, August 29th. Tickets on sale now. Tickets are available at livenation.com. Part of the Virginia Credit Union Concert Series. Click on espnrichmond.com for more Live Nation concert information.
When flying out of Richmond, just park and go. Richmond's Park and Go provides door-to-door shuttle service to the terminal, so there's no waiting, no hassle, and it's safe and secure. You can reserve your Park and Go spot in advance at bookpark.go.com or just download their app in the Play Store. They're ready for you 24/7, 365 days a year for your airport parking needs. Park and Go is also hiring for overnight office work and weekends. Call 804-652-2150 and ask for Greg or Carol.
How would you like a free dinner? That's right, a free dinner. Hi, I'm Jeff Trice with the Insurance Doctor, and I've been telling you for years how nobody beats the Insurance Doctor's prices. And now I'll prove it. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you, and if we can't beat your price, I'll buy you dinner at the restaurant of your choice. So now is the perfect time to shop your auto insurance, because I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. Either way, you get paid. Our competitors like to say they can save you money on your car insurance, but only the Insurance Doctor has a low price guarantee. So no matter who you're with, we will beat their price. It's guaranteed. Oh, and by the way, I'll throw in your own personal agent for free. Just bring your current auto insurance policy into the Insurance Doctor location nearest you. I'll either save you a ton of money on your car insurance or dinner's on me. So call us today and see why I say nobody beats the insurance doctor.
From the ESPN studio, presented by Ortho Virginia. Find one of Ortho Virginia's orthopedic locations at orthovirginia.com. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on ESPN Richmond, live from the Ortho Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside. And to kick off here in hour number 2, we've got Talk of the Town presented by Dave and Buster's in Short Pump. Grab some food, crush a few arcade games, and maybe brag about your big win. Look, we're where Richmond talks sports. They're where Richmond comes to play. Dave and Buster's in Short Pump, located at 4001 Brownstone Boulevard, Suite 101. So Dinwiddie is out to a 2-0 start to the season, and it sets up for a fantastic Friday night showdown against Highland Springs at Highland Springs. It's the third straight road game to open up the season for Dinwiddie, but it hasn't been too much of an issue for him so far to start the season. 2-0, and their last win was a 55-6 win at Granby. And leading that offense, leading the high-scoring offense, it's been their quarterback, Zion Boyso. Through 2 games, he is 34 of 38 through the air, 388 passing yards, 5 passing touchdowns. Oh, by the way, he's tacked on 139 yards on the ground on 11 carries and another 5 touchdowns. This last game against Granby, 181 passing yards, 2 through the air, and then tacked on 3 rushing touchdowns, 87 yards on the ground. He's currently being recruited by a ton of schools, including JMU, some Ivy schools, and he has an offer from ODU as well. So a red-hot start to the season for the quarterback at Dinwiddie. We caught up with him and his head coach, Billy Mills, yesterday, right before they went out to practice ahead of their game on Friday against Highland Springs.
From local legends to rising stars, these are the people and stories that are the talk of the town.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill rolling right along, and it's time for our talk of the town. And we go down to Dinwiddie as we're joined by Coach Billy Mills, as well as Zion Boyso, the quarterback for Dinwiddie, who has been on a tear to start off the 2025 season. Through 2 games, just 4 incompletions and a combined 5 total touchdowns. Zion, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to chat with us.
Thank you. I can't wait to speak.
Yeah, so here, Zion, let's give you an easy one. If you had to grade yourself, I know you get the A, B, C, D grades. How would you grade your quarterback play so far to start the season?
I give it a B. I missed a couple of reads and little small D's I can fix this up.
So with that, I mean, you got 4 incompletions so far this season. I think 388 yards, 5 passing touchdowns, 5 rushing touchdowns. Where can you work on your game maybe a little bit to get it up to an A in your mind?
Just the small things, like looking at my rear, keeping my eyes down the field, knowing when to flop my back, knowing what call to tell the line, things like that.
Awesome. Coach, having Zion as your signal caller this season, what type of confidence? I know it's early on in the season, but what type of confidence does it give you to have him there as your signal caller here this year?
Well, it gives me a ton of confidence. I mean, he's super intelligent, not just in the books, but football smart. I mean, he understands defense. He's an all-region defensive back as a freshman. I mean, his dad is my defensive back coach, my receiver coach, and it's kind of raised him up through football. I mean, he understands the game. He's like having a coach on the field. So I can give him several options on every play and kind of just let him sort it out there and figure out, what our best look is. And that's been big. He has found the right receiver. He understands coverages. And he's a competitor, and he raises the level of play of his teammates around him. So, I've been real pleased with how he's done.
Awesome. Zion, He mentioned there, played defensive back a little bit. I think you got some wide receiver there. I think you're being recruited by some state schools at defensive back position. What's it been like playing quarterback and kind of making that transition? How has defensive back helped you play quarterback?
Just seeing the defense downfield, knowing when defenses are disguising things, knowing the ability of corners, and that's about it.
And you're coming off of that performance against Granby where you put up 260 plus total yards, I think 5 total touchdowns. How can that performance in that game against Granby and kind of parlay that momentum into your upcoming game against Highland Springs?
Just keep doing what we're doing best. Play with tempo, play fast, and execute.
What is it that makes it where you guys can play fast? Is it confidence in the scheme? Is it confidence in your teammates? What is it that makes it where you guys can play fast?
It starts in practice. We do it in practice, we mess up, but just the intensity to keep the ball going, to keep everybody up, and the look we get on Scout D, it helps us all.
And for you, what's been the key to success for you so far this season?
Just taking it easy. Coach Mills makes it easy for me. He do a lot of quick game for me to get me in the rhythm, give my backs the ball, and he gets me going the right way.
When you have Zion there as your quarterback for this Highland Springs game on Friday, what do you need to see out of him to have a successful game plan and so you can beat the Springers?
He just needs to stay within the offense and just do what he does. Don't let the game be too big. Keep himself and his teammates out, kind of out of their emotions and kind of keep pressing and playing each play and trying to execute to the best of their ability and just play hard and play together. That's really all I could ever ask of him. Any game, it doesn't, one game to the next, even though, I know this is hyped up. It's a big game. It's the game of the week for everybody. And rightly so. It's why we scheduled it. I understand that, but, I want him to help his teammates and of course himself, try to eliminate all those noise around him and try to keep the distractions away from, stepping inside of what they're trying to get done and get better. A lot of times, big games like this, there's a lot of stuff going on, and we appreciate it. But we can't. We got to keep the main thing, and that's going out there and being a better football team than we were last Friday. Keep trying to get after it. So it's going to help us. That's why we scheduled it. We know that we're going to have to beat teams like them in the playoffs. So it gives us some really good experience as far as going into the playoffs, which is why we scheduled.
That leads me to the next question of what do you want to see out of your team on Friday against Highland Springs?
I want to see them compete. I bet on my guys anytime. I know that they can be successful. I told them since day one they could be as good as they want to be, and they can be as bad as they want to be. It's really up to them. It's in their hands what they put into it. They're able to do a lot of things. They're very talented, but how hard and they play and how together they play and how well they handle the big game. That's gonna be really important. And as long as they can come over there and keep each other settled down and focus on making the adjustments that need to be made and fixing things as we go and not let the excitement and the emotions that come with games like this kind of take the forefront. I feel excited about what they're going to be able to do.
Awesome. And Zion, last question here for you. Looking at the upcoming season for you and kind of how it has started, what are the expectations for yourself going through the rest of this year?
Expectation for me is just to win. Winning a football game is the biggest priority to me.
I love it. Good luck this Friday. Appreciate both of you guys' time and have fun at practice.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate them stopping by. Zion Boyso, the quarterback of Dinwiddie and head coach of Dinwiddie, Billy Mills, as they get set for their game on Friday against Highland Springs. Ortho Virginia is a sponsor of our Talk of the Town coverage as well. 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area. You can visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910. to discover why stronger starts here. So Zion Boyso has been fantastic to start this year. 34 of 38, 388 yards, 5 touchdowns. That's just through the air. Another 139, 11 carries, 5 touchdowns on the ground. And he's going to have a massive test this Friday against Highland Springs. We saw Highland Springs week 1 absolutely shut down Hopewell's offense. And then they had a very, very, very solid game against that team from Charlotte, Huff. And the defense has been pretty lights out to start the season for Highland Springs. Nothing shocking, considering Highland Springs always one of the better teams in the area with a very good defense. But it's going to be a heavyweight showdown on Friday night between Dinwiddie and Highland Springs.
Yeah, and the boys from Highland Springs, when they make contact, they hit.
Yeah, we on the other side of the field, we heard that.
Yeah,
ooh,
that even after seeing Verina on Friday, I would say that Highland Springs has the most collective,
most pop.
Yeah, like collectively. But I'm excited because again, when you got a quarterback's such an important position.
Yes.
It literally doesn't need to be stated how important it is. But when you have a dynamic playmaker at quarterback, it really changes the landscape of things. It can mask deficiencies across the board as well. And so I expect this to be a great game. Zion aged me about 20, 25 years because I know his father. And I'm rooting for the kid, man. I'm rooting for all our local athletes just to have great games and just showcase. You know, that's what it's all about. Showcase, compete, and challenge one another, because if you think about the programs we have out here for high school, they're all making each other better.
Yep. You watch iron sharpens iron, all of those cliches.
Yeah.
Boyso is a DB wide receiver, and they got him to kind of transition over to quarterback as well. And it's been a great transition so far for Dinwiddie. We will be out this Friday at the Powhatan Midlothian game. Super excited for that one. Powhatan's got a couple of Division I commits. Midlothian's got a couple as well. And it's arguably right up there with the Dinwiddie Highland Springs showdown. All the attention, I think, is turning there because it is two heavyweights. But that Powhatan Midlo game, expected to be fantastic. So we'll be out at Midlothian High School for that game as they play host to Powhatan on Friday night, 7 p.m. kick on that one. So our talk of the town game of the week takes us to Midlothian High School. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside. Fitz's Fantasy First Look is coming up with our first look at the fantasy slate of the 2025 season. If you got any start-sit questions, if you've got any fantasy football-related inquiries, 804-327-0888. We'll be back with more Fitz the Bill.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code RADIO to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code RADIO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code RADIO for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Hey, my name is Wally Rayner, former NFL linebacker. Wahoo Wah. Hey, I'm here in Richmond, and when I'm riding around, I listen to Border to Border at 106.1 ESPN.
Welcome back in Fitz the Bill on this Wednesday morning, midweek edition, right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond, as we head right on out to the phone lines. SC Duke is out there. I've heard reports that SC Duke going to try and talk me off the ledge when it comes to JMU football. Good morning. How you doing?
Step away from the ledge, son. No, I just want to I'm not trying to add to your angst because all JMU Nation is suffering the same dilemma. I mean, what was Chesney thinking? That was not a game plan. I mean, the lack of an adequate game plan lost that game, period.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's no way around it. Yeah.
It was a YMCA flag football approach to an FBS game. We gave up in 51 plays. We give up 120 yards. Our defense is stellar. On 2 plays, we give up, on that slant and on that long run, you give up 140 yards combined. Clemson's not going to hold Louisville to that. They're not.
Yeah.
But you're in touch with Bobby. Ask him a hard question because these softball questions coming his way day in and day out at these press conferences. It's sickening.
Yeah, last press conference,
it was
the one on Monday, he got a couple more serious, hard questions. But I'd love to just dive into his brain and try and figure out what the thought process was on the QB system. Maybe he can try and convince me. Maybe he could be like a salesperson and try to convince me to come over to that side. But as it stands now, from the outside looking in, it made no sense. And you're right. The defense was stout. The defense was stellar. And it's not a matter of if Louisville is going to break the big play. It's a matter of when. And they got 2 of them. And they'll probably get more than 2 against a lot of ACC opponents this year. JMU's defense did exactly what was needed of them to put JMU in a spot to win that game. And the offense, specifically the coaching game plan at the quarterback position, seemed to have things kind of fall through the cracks and not put them in the best spot to win.
Well, I mean, speaking about selling, I don't need him to sell oil or Cutco knives. I need him to come up and coach a football team the way it's supposed to be coached. Right now, it's a lot of feathers and no meat, and he's all cat and no cattle. So he needs to do something. He and Kennedy both.
Yes. 100%. Appreciate you calling in, SC Duke, giving us your thoughts on that. I thought he'd walk me off the ledge a little bit, but instead he kind of took me a little bit closer to the ledge. But it's true. There's a lot to figure out this bye week. And, they always say bye week comes at the perfect time. The bye week comes at the perfect time. In this case, I don't know if the bye week necessarily came at the perfect time because there's so much chatter. There's so many fans, media, everything like that. I mean, Andre Ware on the broadcast was openly questioning Bob Chesney's decision-making, and for good reason. It was a head-scratching decision throughout the entire game to run out that 2 quarterback way. But the bye week falls when all of the chatter around the team is about the quarterback position, about the game plan. So coaches are going to tell you the bye week came at the perfect time, but from a narrative perspective, it came out at a loud time. That's for sure. All right, we're going to go back out to the phone lines. Reggie is waiting out there on line 2. Good morning, Reggie. How are we doing?
Pretty good. Great interview with the coach and the young man. It's going to be a humdinger of a game this Friday, man. I can't wait.
It's going to be
see
fun.
The reports on that, man. They're going to be rolling. But you're Dukes, man, and my daughter, baby girl, went to James Madison. What's the average weight across that offensive line of James Madison? Y'all got some hogs up there, boy.
Yeah.
They got some big ones.
Yeah, it's over. It's like 310, 315, I think. Every spot is just bigger than the last.
I couldn't believe I was watching the game and I said, wait a minute now, hold up. Is that James Madison offensive line?
They some
They're
big
bigger
boys.
than Louisville.
Yeah, there's some big boys. Unfortunately, Louisville, I think, got the upper hand in that game at the defensive line side, but they got some big guys. They're going to have some success against Sun Belt teams, that's for sure.
Who got the biggest offensive line in the state? UVA, Tech, or James Madison?
I
We
believe-
know ODU, dog.
I believe UVA's got the biggest one. UVA was touting their size all off season. They went out there and they got some big boys in the transfer portal.
How they look out on the UVA offensive line?
They look well. They look like they're ready to handle the brunt of what P4 and the ACC is going to bring at them. And they're also pretty good with their feet. Like they're not just big clunky guys. They can move a little.
They got some good offensive linemen.
Pretty agile. Okay. All right, gentlemen, we appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Reggie. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday. My days have been off all week.
Yeah, well,
today felt like Friday.
Little look inside of being a degenerate. Never not know my days during football season, because the minute Monday Night Football ends, you're looking at the lines for the next week, and then that usually starts on Thursday Night Football. Like that line, and you don't mess up because again, you got to get your bet in. So I already know off the top of my head it's Wednesday. I'm so in tune with time right now.
No, I woke up this
injury
morning,
reports and all that stuff, man.
I woke up this morning and I was like, man, thank goodness it's Friday.
See,
and
you're off. You're off, man.
Then like 20 minutes went by and I was like, wait.
It's a good thing you got this fantasy stuff going now because you'll be on top of it.
Yeah,
waiver wire.
Got to do the waiver wire today.
Yeah.
I got to figure it out. Although, look, I know the most exciting thing is talking about your own fantasy football team. Man, I got a good fantasy football team. We had a good week, but I'm in 2 leagues, right? I'm in a regular league where every year you redraft. It's not an auction league, nothing like that. Just a classic league. Destroyed. I absolutely destroyed in week 1. I got a dynasty league, destroyed in week 1. Some fantastic play from my guys.
Shout out to my friend who listened to my Bill Krosky Merritt.
Oh, he picked
campaigning. He picked them up in a dynasty league.
Bro, this is the thing, like when you're in fantasy leagues, you kind of have to know your opponents.
Yeah.
Because both of my fantasy leagues, they're friends from around the area.
Mm-hmm.
And so what are they? They're Commanders fans.
Mm-hmm.
So of course they like Bill Krosky Merritt. So I had him graded out to be like a 9th roundish pick. And I was like, 9th, 10th round. I'll spring for him in the 9th round, right? There's no way someone takes him that early. And I got full faith. He went in the 7th round of one of my drafts. And I was like, goodness gracious, you guys, they do that all the time. Like Jaden Daniels, the smart thing to do in fantasy football is to wait to take a quarterback. Either you want one of the big 5 is what I call them because they're good at rushing and throwing and they rush for touchdowns. Those are Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
So it's a big 4, excuse me. So you may want to splurge on them, pick them maybe in the 3rd round, but if you can't land one of those, you draft a quarterback late. They're taking Jaden Daniels in the 1st round. I was like, you guys, your fandom.
My one friend, his whole offense is essentially Niners. And I'm a Niner
he's
fan.
all hurt.
Yeah, I know. And we're laughing at him because even I said that, again, I don't do a lot of fantasy football, but I'm like, dude, don't do that. You know our team stays hurt.
You see, do you know Drewski?
Yes.
Did you see him do his fantasy football draft from like 2-3 weeks ago?
No.
So Fanatics had a bunch of celebrities on stage and he was doing his
good events.
And his fantasy football team, 1st round pick, Ezekiel Elliott. He went Zeke, and then he went with a quarterback, and then he went with Odell Beckham. And everyone was like, your team would have been great 6 years ago.
6 years ago, man, you'd have been lighting it
You
up.
would have been great. But they were like, Odell Beckham hasn't even reported to camp. And Drewski goes, I don't even know why I'm here. And I was like, all right.
Such a troll.
That's so funny. All right. So waiver wire additions. These are guys that aren't rostered in a lot of leagues. In Sleeper, which is the app I use, Hollywood Brown is only rostered right now in 35% of leagues. And he's got to be the guy that you are going after the highest right now. Try to put in your waiver claim for him. If you're in an auction league where you have fab money, maybe you try and get after him with a couple of extra bucks to try and pull him in because Xavier Worthy is now hurt. We don't know how long he's going to be out. Juju Smith-Schuster is the 2nd option in this offense, apparently. Travis Kelce's old. He's too preoccupied with planning a wedding now. So Hollywood Brown might actually be your best option on this Chiefs offense. If you want to have a piece of this Chiefs offense, Hollywood Brown is probably going to do it for you. And he played pretty well this last week. He was top 10 in scoring. He had over 20 points this game. So he's a guy that probably will continue to be the number one option for Patrick Mahomes, and is a guy you want to go out and try to get Marquise Hollywood Brown. That is my number one waiver wire addition. This one, a little bit longer of a shot. This is a high risk, high reward. It's a tight end from San Francisco. Jake, I should know how to pronounce his last name because all I heard on Sunday was him flaming the Seahawks. Jake Tonges, I think is how you pronounce his name. High risk, high reward. So on Sunday, he caught the game-winning touchdown. Woohoo. Tariq Woolen made play. Tariq Woolen, the cornerback for Seattle, had the worst game I've ever seen from a corner. He had 2 interceptions in his hand, and he just forgot how to play football for 5 seconds, and they resulted in massive gains. And in the case of Jake Tonges, the game-winning touchdown. So frustrating. But it's a high-risk, high-reward play because George Kittle has been placed on the IR, so he could very well become the favorite tight end target for Brock Purdy over the next 4 to 5 weeks while Kittle is out, while they're without Brandon Ayuk, while Kendrick Bourne gets acclimated to the offense, while Juwan Jennings deals with an injury, while Christian McCaffrey is going to be questionable each and every week. It could become the Jake Tonges show. Like that very well could be part of it. Or on the flip side, and this is why it's high risk, high reward, he could just not be part of the game plan. Because what happens a lot with these injuries is that the new guy gets slotted in and they don't change their game plan too much. And so he was just getting the reps and the targets that George Kittle would have gotten in that game. And now that they have a week to game plan without George Kittle in the lineup, Tonges may be kind of taken out a bit. However, I don't see that happening because he was so successful in place of George Kittle. On Sunday, he was the 16th highest scoring tight end, was 5th among tight ends in terms of points per snap. So I think there is a lot of value in going out and getting Jake Tonges because Brock Purdy loves his tight ends, and you could get a starting quality tight end for the next 4 to 5 weeks while George Kittle is out. And a stash play, my third waiver wire edition, it's a stash play. It's Bashal Tootin. Darn Tootin. I'm going with Bashal Tootin. Tank Bigsby's been traded, so you take him out of it. It makes Tootin the number 2 running back. ETN had a very good week 1 for the Jaguars. I think over 100 rush yards. He was very good in fantasy, and he may very well just be the running back 1 for the rest of the season, and Tootin doesn't get a lot of run. However, ETN has seemingly fallen out of favor with every coaching staff that has been there in Jacksonville. Urban Meyer, he fell out of favor with him. Doug Peterson fell out of favor with him. So there is a chance that, maybe ETN doesn't have the staying power as the RB1 for Jacksonville. And Bashal Tootin, who is a speedy guy, will take over the RB1 spot or become, kind of RB1B. And that could be very valuable down the stretch. So maybe you put in a waiver edition. He probably won't be claimed by a lot of people unless, of course, you're in a league that's around here and you got a lot of Virginia Tech alums in your league. Maybe they've already gone out and gotten him. But Tootin not rostered at a high clip. You could get him and stash him for a couple of weeks and see how it plays out in that running back room in Jacksonville. So Hollywood Brown's my number 1 waiver wire addition. Jake Tonges is a guy that I'm monitoring closely. I would go out and get him if I needed a tight end, but I don't need a tight end right now, so I'm not going to go out and get him. And Bashal Tootin is a guy that I'm going to go out, I'm going to try and get and then stash him for the next couple of weeks to see if he pops off at all. So those are my those are my approaches here to the waiver wire going into week 2 of the fantasy football season. Some start sit types of breakdowns. Really what I'm going to start with here in week 1, because start sit is a little difficult. There's not a lot of sample to go off of. Start the guys you started in week 1. There's a reason you started them in week 1. Give them another week if they didn't play it out in the way you thought they would. Give them another week. So not a lot of start sit breakdowns. However, I do want to explain because we had Chris call in yesterday asking about if he should start the Green Bay defense or the San Francisco defense and which defense he should go with for the remainder of the season. My philosophy specifically on defenses is to stream them. Each week, I'm looking at who has the most favorable matchups among the defenses that are currently available in my league. There is no real benefit to holding on to the same defense all season unless you have like the Dallas Cowboys defense from, what was it, like 22, 23, when they were getting turnovers at an insanely high clip. It's just such a volatile position where I'm looking at the available defenses and I'm not caring about how good the defense is. I'm looking at how bad the offense is. If the offense is being quarterbacked by a third stringer who's going to be apt to throw the football and maybe turn the ball over a lot, I'm going to try and go and get that defense. And that's my approach each and every week to defenses. Kind of my approach with kickers as well. I'm looking at what kickers are available, and I'm looking at what kickers play for offenses that I have faith will either find the end zone or get into field goal range and can convert at a pretty high clip. So defenses and kickers, I don't necessarily keep on my roster from start to finish of the season. There's going to be a lot of moving and shaking between those two positions. And that's how I find the most success when it comes to rostering defenses and kickers. And last but certainly not least, in our Fitz's fantasy first look, Alan, it's time for the panic meter. We got some panic happening. So we got to gauge where our panic meter lies in terms of top 10 wide receivers in the NFL, according to average draft position. 1 through 10, it went, this is how they were drafted on average. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson. CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors. Amon-Ra, Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, A.J. Brown. That's 1 through 10. I want you to guess right here, right now, Alan, who the highest scoring wide receiver was this last weekend in terms of points.
Out of those options?
Out of those options.
Give me the options one more time. There's a lot of names.
Okay, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Malik Neighbors, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Nico Collins, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., Drake London, A.J. Brown.
It would have been CD, I think.
It was Puka Nacua.
Oh.
Puka had 23.1 points.
Did he score a touchdown?
I think so.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, everybody else didn't do anything.
CD was the next best. And then that's the thing. Like, everyone else didn't do well. So is it time to panic on the wide receivers? Jamar Chase was the 70th best receiver this weekend. Justin Jefferson, 20th. CD, 14th. Malik Neighbors, 28th. Amon-Ra, 44th. Nico Collins, 60th. A.J. Brown, 87th. A.J. Brown only had one target. Is it time to panic on these wide receivers? No.
So
it's not.
Here's the thing about that, though, since we're on the topic. The NFL has been gradually regressing on the passing meter. We saw that a little bit last year. I think there was some of that in 2023 too. So it's not anything to be alarmed about. You just have to temper your expectations. I think people are getting more back to clock management style football. If you can get a high scoring game like the Jets and Steelers, then yeah, that's cool. But for the most part, I think how the Commanders game went Sunday is what most people want. A fresh 21, we're controlling the clock. The other team's under 20. We're good with that.
That's why you see a lot of over-unders now in like the mid to low 40s in the NFL. That's just kind of the way it's going in terms of betting markets have shown that. And also, like, it's week 1. There's hardly any sample size on these. They will even out. Like, this will steady out. So right now, the top 10 wide receivers didn't have a good first week, but you kind of look at it overall. The Bengals offense was abysmal. Justin Jefferson had a quarterback that forgot to show up for the first 3 quarters of the game. Malik Neighbors has Russell Wilson throwing to him. Amon-Ra, that offense. Like, there's so many extenuating circumstances for each and every guy. If there's another week like this, maybe we start to panic on the top wide receivers in the NFL in terms of fantasy. But as it stands right now, there's no panic. What I am panicking about, though, especially if I'm a Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Chase Brown fantasy football owner, this Bengals offense worries me to no end.
They ran the ball pretty well.
Chase Brown was 22nd in terms of fantasy scoring.
Well, you didn't get in the end zone, right?
No, he didn't.
That plays a big part in fantasy scoring.
It does, and that's what worries me, though. Like, they only scored, 17 points? against the Browns.
Hold on now. The Browns defense has been solid, and
you're right, but
AFC North games can be a slugfest sometimes.
You're right, but the Bengals offense coming into this season was an offense expected to be the best, or at least the most scoring in terms of fantasy football in the league. And that type of performance against the Browns, I know they're a good defense, but that performance gives me pause, where if I'm an owner of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, or Chase Brown, the two wide receivers, the quarterback and the running back, I am a little worried that they might be a good football team. They might win games. Their defense might be good. Heck, they held Cleveland to 16 points. Good job. But that offense, I was expecting high scoring out the gates. And maybe that's my own fault, because Cincinnati's never been a high scoring team right out the gates. But it is a little worrisome. My panic meter is about halfway full when it comes to the Bengals offense.
Did you see how Myles Garrett hit Joe Burrow?
Yeah,
come on, man.
Oh my God.
Come on, man.
You're right. I'm just there is that part of it as well, where it's just like
Lamar better watch out too. I know they're heavy favorites on this weekend, but that guy Myles Garrett is a problem.
Yeah, but at least the Ravens' offensive line's better.
Oh yeah, significantly better.
That Bengals offensive line. Like, I know we talked about it yesterday, but Myles Garrett just does a classic stunt and and then you see the Bengals offensive lineman like 3 steps behind Myles Garrett trying to catch up with him. Like, oh no,
yeah,
I got to get him. And then he just
the one person you have to account for on the line. I don't understand it either, but I wouldn't panic just yet on anything week 1 with guys that you know are your tier 1 fantasy producers.
Yeah.
I think some of this is just rust from not playing a lot of preseason, and just, that first game is always a little weird. People will settle. If you have some issues this week with some of those top guys, then I would say start to at least plan an exit just in case.
Yep. Find your nearest exit and get ready.
Yeah.
Maybe get the life vest from underneath your seat on an airplane at this point. Hold on to it. Don't pull the things yet.
Yeah.
You don't got to pull them to inflate, but have it deflated across your neck real quick, because you might have to be pulling the cord very soon. Let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back, talk a little bit about how Kevin O'Connell is an absolute magician as a coach. Daniel Jones gave us some fantastic insight on that. All right, we'll step aside, be back with more Fitz the Bill.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkis, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
Hey, this is Michael with Incredible HVAC. We're a locally owned business, and we know how important it is to be comfortable in your own home. No matter the time of the year, if your heating or cooling system is not performing like it should, visit IncredibleHVAC.com. When you choose Incredible HVAC, you're not just getting great service, you're also helping our community. $25 every tune-up goes to our local food pantry, and we're proud partners of the Kiwanis Club, Optimist Club, and Share the Love organization. Incredible HVAC not only brings comfort to your home, but also to your community.
Hey, this is Jack Fitzpatrick. If you've ever been in a car accident, there's one place to call, Schilling and Esposito.
I know them personally. I know their work ethic. They focus on their clients and their big dog obsession with getting the most compensation for their client. Heck, they even give you their cell phone numbers. Call them today at 804-320-0950 and put their entire team to work for you. 804-320-0950. Schilling and Esposito. Looking to grow your local business? Let's team up. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, host of Fitz the Bill on ESPN Richmond. Together, we can craft on-air campaigns that drive customers right through your doors. Ready to collaborate? Email me, jack.fitzpatrick@summitmediacorp.com. So there are great mechanics in the NFL. There's some bad mechanics in the NFL to bring it all the way back to our four-cylinder discussion to start off the show today. And Kevin O'Connell is one of those great mechanics. He did find his way into, maybe it's not a 5-star garage, but I'd say the Minnesota Vikings are a consistent 3.5, 4-star garage. They're still looking for their first Super Bowl, but for the most part, it is a consistent franchise that's typically a good team. And they bring in Kevin O'Connell, a great mechanic. They do something a little out of the norm. Maybe they open the pocketbook a little bit. They bring in this fantastic mechanic that comes with all these glowing reviews, and he's turned out to be the greatest hire that I think Minnesota's had in at least the last 3 decades. Kevin O'Connell is an absolute magician. And Daniel Jones broke it down yesterday or 2 days ago on the Pat McAfee show, explaining why Kevin O'Connell and the things that he saw Kevin O'Connell do made him realize why the head coach of the Vikings is such a good quarterbacks coach.
Yeah, I think just being around Kevin, being around Josh McCown, Grant Udinski, those guys there, I learned a lot from them. I think the biggest thing I took away from there was just the preparation, how detailed they were in the game plan, how much they prepared for certain looks, checks they had, motions to undress the defense, every little thing they were going over, they were talking through, they were walking through, they were, discussions about it. Was, very, very detailed, high level. Here's what we're expecting. Here's what we're going to do to it. And the preparation day to day throughout the week was really, impressive to me, just the level of detail that they had. So, yeah, I think being around those guys and seeing that, being able to watch Sam prepare and how they prepared him, to me was really impressive.
So since taking over the Minnesota Vikings in 2022, Kevin O'Connell has the Minnesota Vikings ranked 12th in the National Football League in EPA per dropback, expected points added per dropback. They are better than most teams in the NFL in terms of, on a per-play basis, doing things that positively impact the scoreboard. They're 7th in the NFL in success rate per dropback. And what's success rate? It's a very simple metric that measures on first down, did you get 50% of the yards needed for a first down? On second down, did you get 50% of the yards needed? And on third and fourth down, did you get 100% of the yards needed? So on 1st and 10, did you make it 2nd and 5? On 2nd and 5, did you make it 3rd and 2? And on 3rd and 2, did you make it 1st and 10? If you're doing that, that is a 100% success rate. And that's what it measures. And since 2022, the Vikings 7th in the NFL in that statistical category. Alan, I just want to go through the quarterbacks here real quick that Kevin O'Connell has been working with to have those types of numbers, because with those types of numbers, you'd expect it to maybe be 1 or 2 quarterbacks and just 1 or 2 quarterbacks that have racked up a couple of Pro Bowls during that time period. Well, the QBs he's been working with is Kirk Cousins, which good, not great, good. Josh Dobbs, bad. Nick Mullen, bad. Jaron Hall, out of the league, bad. Sam Darnold. I feel comfortable in saying it as a Seahawks fan after watching him in week 1. They fleeced us. They faked us out. They gave us the old okey doke. Sam Darnold, bad. J.J. McCarthy, he was bad for 3 quarters. He has 1 good quarter underneath him, looking like signs are pointing in the right direction. But man, Kevin O'Connell knows how to speak the quarterback's language, and he is a magician. He is a 5-star mechanic that is helping the Vikings get closer and closer and closer to maybe one day winning a Super Bowl.
Just another alumni of the Washington Redskins at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Which is absolutely hilarious.
I wasn't gonna go down that.
I love to bring this up because I don't think any franchise has let go of so much offensive-minded talent.
Let's go through it real quick. Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
Matt LaFleur.
Yeah.
Kevin O'Connell.
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel.
Yeah. I mean, it's a collection of. I don't know if it's I wouldn't call O'Connell Shanahan's tree per se, but he's an extension of it by way of I think McVay. But I said this yesterday, or the day before yesterday when I was watching the game. So there was a situation where it was like 4th and short, I think. Shanahan would have kicked it. He would have played for the field goal. O'Connell is similar to McVay. Like he's playing to win. He wants to put the ball in the end zone. And I think that's what makes him different from LaFleur and all the other guys that are pretty much in that collection of friends is he's willing to take the risk. But you can tell by the way he's maneuvered these quarterbacks and how he's built his system. He's a really, really, really intelligent coach. He gets the most out of his specific players. He caters to their skill set. Nothing more apparent than that than when they go into the half and they come out in the second half and you see your boy JJ getting a little bit more space to operate with, right? You're not comfortable in the pocket. Let's move you outside the pocket a little bit, right? You don't read the field that well. You got a lot running at you. We're going to put Jetta in a position where you can see him.
Yeah.
See Jetta, throw the Jetta, right? Get comfortable.
See ball, get ball.
Yeah.
See Jetta, get Jetta.
Let's get you some real easy throws to your tight end. Let's get you a better running game going. Let's make some adjustments to make you comfortable, and then let's cut you loose. And he's a dangerous coach, man, because I can confidently say if he had more talent at the quarterback position, he would be very, very good. Because if you think about their staff, you got him on the offensive side, you got Flores on the defensive side.
Yes.
It's a very solid thing that they have in Minnesota. And when they don't get over the hump, typically it's because of the deficiency from the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Because they've had to go up against, Jordan Love and LaFleur, significant upgrade from Kirk Cousins most of the time.
Jared Goff was a significant upgrade.
Yeah. So, and Kirk Cousins getting hurt also derailed them a little bit. But I'm a big fan of his. You got to see more postseason success to start putting him in the top 5 to 7 range. But just off of what he's done since he's been in the league as a head coach, I would definitely give him a lot of praise.
I think his biggest success point, his greatest trait is the fact that he isn't rigid.
Yeah, no,
because like what you said, my quarterback's not performing well in the game plan we had created coming into this game. You know what we're going to do? Change it.
Remember he had, was it Dobbs?
Yeah, that's right.
He was winning games with.
He was winning games with Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullen, and Jaron Hall.
Yeah, the only one that he couldn't really crack the code on was Hall. But that was the best part of that game. Him and Jetta being as patient as they were with McCarthy. I like I said, second quarter, I was looking for the backup. Who's the backup? What other options do we have?
Third quarter, look after that pick six.
And the pick six was the worst.
Not even the pick six. His trip fumble twirl, JJ McCarthy's while he was trying to tackle him. It was just like, oh no, we've got a new Will Levis.
And they're playing essentially the practice squad secondary of the Bears because most of their people are hurt.
Yeah.
And Jetta's got one reception. He's not spazzing. O'Connell's not spazzing. They're like, hey, man, calm down, kid. Aaron Jones also said that, when they got in the locker room at the half, everybody was just like, yo, we got your back. Just relax.
Just relax and settle in.
A good message to send, man. It was great to see patience in real time.
Yeah.
Because, we talk about earlier today, we talked about quarterbacks needing support. He got it, and he blossomed because of it.
Kevin O'Connell is what Mike McDaniels thinks he is.
I don't know what Mike thinks he is.
That's true. Mike
ain't never been O'Connell.
He's kind of gone off the rails a little bit. Some of these press conferences, he's just kind of being a little snippy and rude now. He knows he's about to get fired.
Well, he's dabbling a little too much in the Miami lifestyle, if you know what I mean. That's what I think about his press conferences.
You're not wrong.
His look has drastically changed since he's been down there.
Yeah, we need to get him back to his nerd
and he's
days.
a little skittish, so it makes me wonder.
Well, we're watching you, Mike McDaniel. But yeah, I've seen a lot of conversation too around Kevin O'Connell. I know one of the lower thirds on Get Up yesterday was, is he the best coach in the NFL?
No, I wouldn't go that far.
Not so fast, exactly. But he's on that trajectory. You said more postseason success, 1,000%. And the key thing with dynasties, and I'm not saying Minnesota is a budding dynasty, but what you see is great quarterbacks paired with great coaches. In recent memory, Bill and Tom, Andy and Patrick. You've got the great QB plus great coach combo. Is J.J. McCarthy that? Based off of game one, TBD. It was 3 bad quarters. It was 1 good quarter, but that 1 good quarter made up for all of those first 3 quarter mistakes. So maybe this is a great coach, great QB combo. And seeing how he is going to grow with J.J. McCarthy and seeing how Kevin O'Connell is able to create game plans around their young, I'm going to call him rookie, even though he's technically a second year, their rookie quarterback. This is going to be a very, very fun relationship to monitor up in Minnesota because it is going to have a ton of impact in the NFC North, a division in which the Lions had their chance. It feels like they've lost it because now there's 2 other teams right there, right behind them. Packers may have taken the mantle away from Detroit in that week 1 win. So it could be J.J. McCarthy and Kevin O'Connell next taking it away from Detroit, putting them to the 3rd rung.
So if you're looking for like a comp, like you talk dynasty, whether we like them or not, we got to give Sirianni and Hurt some boost for that because Sirianni and Hurt are lockstep with Mahomes and Andy Reid for the most part over the last 4 or 5 years, right? Like the Eagles have been in the thick, 2 or 3, but they've been in the thick of it, and they've got their Super Bowl within that run as well, and we're looking at them as the team to beat in the NFC once again. So I think that the Vikings could position themselves to be like the upstart to thwart the Eagles in a long-term situation. So like you look at them as maybe on the trajectory of like the Bengals, right? Yeah. Like the Bengals are a good team. They are a thorn in the Chiefs' sides when they make it to the playoffs. Yeah, when they make it to the playoffs. But that would be the same thing we would say about the Vikings. Like we would expect them to compete with a team like the Vikings, with the Eagles, but they got to get to the playoffs. So we got to see a little bit more out of McCarthy, but it's definitely a lot of optimism, and there's definitely something there as far as a chemistry between coach and player.
1,000%. And the Eagles got 2 thorns in their sides, right? The Vikings and the Commanders, 2 teams I don't think they necessarily expected to have this much success in the case of the Commanders, this much success this early with their young quarterback, but now they've got to deal with those thorns. All right, let's get a break in here. We'll step aside, be back to wrap up this Wednesday edition of Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
What are you doing every day to support your liver? If you enjoy sweets, fast food, alcohol, or take any medications, that's a vital question to ask. Hi, I'm Sherry Torkas, pharmacist and health author. For over 30 years, I've helped people make informed decisions about their health, especially concerning prevention and long-term wellness. Supporting your liver isn't just a wellness trend, it's a daily essential. That's why I recommend Active Liver by New Nordic. It's made with plant-based ingredients like milk thistle, turmeric, and globe artichoke, herbs clinically studied for their protective and restorative effects on the liver. Active Liver blends traditional herbal wisdom with modern scientific research. Not all supplements are created equal. I trust Active Liver because it's backed by science, meets strict quality standards, and delivers true daily liver support.
Protect your liver and give it the support that it deserves by making Active Liver from New Nordic part of your daily wellness routine. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meyer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
At the Original Mattress Factory, you'll often hear us say we can't fit our quality in a box. Our customers feel the same way. Here's what an actual OMF customer had to say.
I recently purchased a bed-in-a-box mattress and returned it a month later. I replaced it with a bed from the Original Mattress Factory, and I am beyond thrilled. Don't bother with any of the online mattress brands. Go to OMF and you'll be in great hands. My only regret is not going there sooner.
Come see our quality firsthand at the Original Mattress Factory.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
This is Brennan Wells, the owner of Pro Weld Fabricators. We are a Richmond-based company. We are here for all of your welding projects.
Bradley Hicks here with Pro Weld Fabricators. We bring all the right tools to your doorstep. Emergency repair? No problem. We're available 24/7. For all commercial and residential needs, you need Pro Weld Fabricators. Learn more about Pro Weld Fabricators and check out some of our awesome projects at pro-weldfabricators.com.
Pro Weld Fabricators is your number one source for any of your commercial welding needs.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
This is Ben Ingram with the Atlanta Braves. When I'm on the road to D.C. and Baltimore, I always tune in to 106.1 ESPN Richmond for all my sports news. They've got you covered.
Welcome back in. Fitz the Bill as we wrap up this midweek edition live from the Ortho Virginia studios in the capital of the Commonwealth. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick Allen alongside, and we will be out at the Powhatan Midlothian game on Friday. We are pumped for that. That is our Talk of the Town game of the week. A lot of attention is being turned to Highland Springs Dinwiddie, and there are also fantastic games across the entire 804. Powhatan, a couple of Division I commits, Midlothian, a couple as well, and it's going to make for a great game Friday night, 7 p.m. We are pumped to be out there. Super excited for that. Our Talk of the Town game of the week presented by Dave & Buster's and Ortho Virginia. Dave & Buster's out in Short Pump. Grab some food, crush a few arcade games, maybe brag about your win. They're located at 4001 Brownstone Boulevard, Suite 101. And then we've got a loaded show coming up today, or a loaded day coming up on ESPN Richmond. We've got, Clinton and Friends coming up next. That takes you into the Rich Eisen show, man. That's been fun.
Yeah, Rich Eisen's cool, man. It makes me a little sad because I always think of him and Stuart Scott at the same time.
Yeah.
But it's awesome to hear his voice on the air.
On our airwaves, baby.
Yeah, I do miss Greeny. But
that's been a long time gone.
Yeah.
He's been over there on Get Up this whole time. You could just unmute the TV and we could just play that.
That's true.
Although Greeny hardly was ever on. That's what I felt like. Greeny was always traveling for his other gigs.
Yeah, no, he was hardly ever. It was a running joke with them. But yeah, we've got that. We've got Border to Border, and we've got Bob on as well. And we've got a couple like interviews and things scheduled and some giveaways. We're going to be busy. We're going to be busy.
Oh, yeah. We have Adam Sandler tickets we're giving away as well.
And I've got a hefty planning schedule.
Yeah, we've got a hefty planning schedule, but
got to get this organized.
We got Adam Sandler tickets given away right now in the ESPN Richmond app. If you don't have the ESPN Richmond app, you can download it in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Just head on over there, type in ESPN Richmond. It'll pop up, and then you can download it and enter a giveaway for Adam Sandler tickets. He'll be performing at John Paul Jones Arena over there in Charlottesville, and you could win free tickets. Our grand prize is fantastic. Check it out. We'll be pulling a winner live tomorrow from Topgolf. Our show is live from Topgolf tomorrow from 8 to 10 a.m. Topgolf opens at 9, so you can come through, hit a couple of balls. Maybe I'll do an entire segment while I'm driving the golf ball a little bit, see if that makes for great radio. But we'll be out there from 8 to 10 a.m. Come on by if you're able to between 9 and 10 a.m. Say hi, see if you can outdrive me. I think I could, if you put me on the top deck there at Topgolf, I think I could probably hit it like 400 yards. because you're already starting so high.
I can smack it pretty far. I just can't hit it straight.
That's the key. I'm straight. I'm straight on my drives, maybe once every 10.
So we used
catch
to
me at
do
the right time.
The Happy Gilmore drill was one of my drills for baseball, where we would do the crossover step and we had to swing and hit it off the tee.
That's insane.
Yeah, so I'm not like the whole golf swing and the Happy Gilmore thing is perfectly fine with me. I actually do that often when I go to Top Golf.
Maybe I'll try to do that.
Yeah, if not, I can come out after the show and show you how to do it.
All right, perfect. We'll be out there 8 to 10 a.m. Come on by, say hi, and we'll be drawing the grand prize winner for these Adam Sandler tickets we're giving away right now in the ESPN Richmond app. Appreciate you for tuning in, getting your Wednesday started with us. Keep it locked. Clinton and Friends coming up next, then the Rich Eisen Show, and we've got Border to Border. We're back local from 3 until 4 with Matt Josephs. 4 to 5, it's Bob Black and Matt with the Sports Huddle, and Bob takes you home with it's the mashup hour. These names, I'm just mixing them up all week. I cannot keep them straight. Then Bob takes you home with the Sports Huddle. Then we've got Talkin' Dukes tonight, 6 to 7 p.m. You do not want to miss that as we react to the Louisville loss in depth. Myself and Matt Joseph from 6 to 7 with Talkin' Dukes. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Same time, same place. Look forward to it.